Okay. All right, so now what we're gonna do today. So it's Macefully. I'm back live again. Still working on our Snow Scout. Once again from GI Trooper Kits. I did a lot of work off camera, so I'm sorry, but a lot of it kind of has to be done off camera. I seal with a rattle can. I don't use my airbrush. I'm still airbrush illiterate, so still haven't done anything with that. I realize. Oh, it was the music. I thought I was echoing. Sorry. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, I only seal with rattle cans pretty much, other than the touch-ups at the end, which is what we're going to go through today because this guy is looking really good. So I'll get close to the camera. So what I did, I was really impatient. As soon as I ended stream, I went and matte sealed this guy. And so you can see the undersuit just looks absolutely stellar with the weathering. And you can see how the white came through on the boots just to give it that little dusted look. Our knee pads. And so you see here, the belt is shiny, but the torso is not. And that's because I taped up a lot on this guy to make sure that only the semi-gloss would go on the armor pieces. So you can see we have that nice imperial kind of sheen, but it's tarnished because we have this beautiful weathering from our makeup, right? Really excited with how this turned out. Like, so excited. Over the moon. I was really hoping this one would turn out right. And then our hands, they came out pretty good. I went a little heavy, I think, on the weathering, but it works. You're always punching stuff. So we're happy. Once again, I only did 2 sets of the hands actually finished because I am a little lazy. Oh, look, we can unwrap these on stream because I forgot. So I tape a lot. I burn through a lot of material. And like I said too, I actually matte sprayed these before I did the semi-gloss. So that's a lot of primer or a lot of sealer to use, a lot of varnish, but man, I love the results that I get whenever I guess you'd say overuse material, overuse paint. But here we go. Still haven't gotten standby mode fixed, unfortunately. All the guides online do not work. So today's going to be short. I just really wanted to show this stuff off. And also, I really trimmed down the pegs for the hands that are actually stock, because otherwise they hang up on the inside, because that's what they're made to do, and I can't stand that. Don't want to risk breaking anything. So, main things we still need to do, go through and gloss the visor. And I want to go and put some matte on things that I don't think should be shiny, right? So this mouthpiece shouldn't be shiny. I actually repainted the vent hole on the front of the helmet. And I think it just looks so much better. In my head, that shouldn't be shiny. Vents on the back, I might not. They look good. They kind of blend in. And then we're going to hit gloss on these lights. 3 little red lights on his armor. And after that, the figure's pretty much done. One thing I'm really excited about is painting this rifle. I am really excited to just give it a bath in Nuln Oil and then paint this stock like a bakelite or like wood, depending on kind of what I'm feeling. And then, of course, we'll have to repaint the grip. The grip's going to be black or like that bakelite kind of color. Unfortunately, my clip took off the primer and the paint on the grip of the blaster. So we're going to have to hope that the paint will stick. So let me grab some Nuln Oil and we're going to get started. We are just going to grab a fat brush for this. Luckily, oil washing is kind of easy. I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with this cardboard just to make sure we don't get any of it on the desk. Fat brush, just because I'm going to coat this thing, right? I just want this blaster. In my head, I have this look that I'm going for. Don't know if it's going to work, but we're going for it. Nuln Oil is kind of like magic and bringing out details. So we are just going to cake it on. I'm really hoping that metallic undercoat just looks unique. I've never done this before, so we're just going for it. Get it down into the recesses. Might add a little bit of our black onto the muzzle just to look maybe a little bit like carbon scoring, maybe. I'm a compulsive brush washer, so we're going to let that dry for a minute just to see what it looks like. And of course, we also wanted to do our lenses, but let's go ahead and take our our detail brush. We're going to go ahead and get our gloss. We just want this visor to be nice and shiny. So I am going to water down the gloss just a little bit so that it really spreads out, because we're really going for an even gloss coat. Because whereas the helmet has been covered with a semi-gloss, I just still want the visor to stand out as much as possible. Oh, it looks like we have some trying to run away. So I'm going to get our brush dry and just kind of, I don't know if you can see that little pool in that back corner, but we just don't want that to run out onto the armor. Now we're going to let that dry. Go ahead and do our buttons, the lights on the armor. I like to think of this as These buttons represent that his heating system is working, or the life support system. I don't know. I don't know if they look cool. Okay. These I don't think get gloss, but we're going to do a gloss on the red just because I think it'll make it pop just a little more. Yeah, that looks nice. All right, now our matte varnish. Before that spills everywhere. And so matte varnish, I just want to put it on anywhere if I feel like the weathering doesn't look like tarnished the armor, which honestly, looking at it, I don't see anywhere that I'm upset with. So I think we can leave that the way it is. Our matte, let's get our brush wet first. I just don't think that this mouthpiece should be shiny. I still want to differentiate between the armor bits. And same thing with this vent. Should not be shiny. I really want it to stand out. But stand out in the way that it looks muted. Let's see. This black is really shiny. Let's knock it down. In my head, it doesn't make sense for this to be shiny. One thing with when you're working with your varnishes, just knock out the bubbles. See, we've got some bubbling up there. Just helps it look smoother. All right, we're going to let all of that dry. Let's take a look at our blaster rifle. And wow, you can see how that muted that silvery tone. Oh, it's not focusing. Let's see. My hand in there. There we go. It's still drying. We definitely need another pass too. So with the blaster rifle, we're gonna, of course, use some more Nuln Oil, and then I'm gonna try our white snow dust and see if we can add some frosty look to the rifle. Let me move all of these hands out of the way. Ooh. That one will be found later. It's gone. Right. So, I know we're still working on our Snow Scout, which is literally really almost done. Next, we're going to work on our rookie from Halo 3 ODST. Probably my favorite game from when I was a kid, and now I'm a grown man, and it's just, game sends chills through me. I love it so much. And so we're going to be doing a little bit of touch-up and weathering on this guy. I had painted this white because I had some translucent decals to try to put his rookie inscription on there for his armor. All of the source material, you'll get conflicting. Some have his name tag on there, some don't. The decals that I ordered were not very good. Unfortunately, they disintegrated in the water. I don't know if maybe they weren't sealed properly. I really have no clue. But not going to try those again, so I'm just going to paint this over and use the reference material where his name isn't on the armor. I know it's the lazy, easy way out, but gotta do what we gotta do. So actually, we'll go ahead and just do that. I'm gonna be using a mix of gray and black just because I don't want it to be the same color of the armor, because on the reference material it is a darker little bar where the name would be, but I just don't want it to stand out too much either. I just want it to look like I know what I'm talking about just a little bit. That's too light. Oh, we can mix. Excuse the Tupperware lid. I'm kind of lazy. I have my actual wet palette and things, but it's in a box and I didn't want to get it out. Plus, I got junk Tupperware, so why not? These little plastic containers, you can just reuse them for anything. This one got stained by pasta, so it's been retired. I'm liking that gray a lot, but if we look, I think it might be a little too light still. Let's put it on. Let's see what happens. So we're going for these. There's a slight ridge in the armor. We're going to try to keep this paint within. That's one thing about customizing, especially if you're just getting into painting. If you find a model that has ridges that you have to paint, it's a really nice introduction to learning brush control, but also having kind of some training wheels. Because you still have to, you can't just slap paint on there, right? You can't just be willy-nilly, but you have a little bit of assistance just from with how the model is made. And I am actually really liking how that's going on. You can see it's just a slight shade of difference, but it covers up the white, that giant white bar mistake. Another thing I did, I weathered the helmet stripe first, and I don't really know why I did that. Another thing, I know we talked about doing some carbon scoring on this guy, but honestly, I love the way he looks so much as is. I don't really want to do any. I don't really want to do any black kind of slashes or splash anything. So I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to leave him the way that he is. If I change my mind, that's pretty easy to come back and fix. But for now, I think he's going to stay the way he is. Now the rookie will definitely need some weathering. There we go. Okay. And we can see that gloss on the visor. Focus up, not on my hand. See how it just pops that much more than the helmet? It just gives it that nice sheen. But then also, there's no more shine on the gray. I might use one more coat of matte on that just to make sure that we get it knocked down the way I want it to be. The sheen on our light, yeah, there you go. How glossy those buttons are. Nice, loving it. Well, pretty much the figure's done. I have nothing else that I would want to do to him. Feel free, if you see this VOD and you have an idea of something else I can do with him, let me know, but I'm pretty happy. Love my Hoth troopers. So I think he'll look pretty nice hunting some rebels. I have, I think, 7 Hoth rebel troopers because I found a lot where they were $5 a piece, $4 a piece. I couldn't turn it down. I've turned one into I try to give them diversity, right? So I took Finn, an old Finn figure that I actually used for my Gar Saxon Clone Wars. Oh, this guy, actually. This one right here. This is a Finn. Oh, no, I hit the mic. This is a Finn base body on this. Oh, why am I showing the webcam? So this is a Finn base body. And, of course, I didn't need the head anymore, so I actually chopped it up and used the face for one of the Hoth troopers just to give them more diversity so they're not just the same, what I think, two guys. I know they have their gear that you can put on, like have them with goggles, without goggles, all that kind of stuff, but I thought it was neat to be able to give them just a little more diversity too. All right, so we can see we don't have any gloss on our binoculars. And I wanted to add some red tint to lenses. So we could actually go ahead and paint the lens on the sniper. I'm impatient. I want to get some painting done. Let me get the gloss black. A few more things. Some red. So here we got our glossy black and our gory red. We're going to mix those in a way to try to make a neat sheen for the lenses. I want it to look unique. We're definitely going to weather on this guy tonight, 100%. Let me get some more material. Sorry to be off camera for so long, just trying to find everything that I need before I really get started again. It was nice, there we go. Pigments. Okay. Find my weathering sponges. got a lot of stuff to play with. Okay. So now I think we're going to go ahead and do our lenses. So I already painted this gloss black, but we remember we did our, what's it called? Matte spray to seal everything in. So we're going to have to work with it just a little bit. This guy is actually clogged. Uh-oh. Please don't explode. All right. Tap, 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 tap. Nope. We're trying. There we go. That's kind of what we're going for, just like a slightly red black. We'll bring the gloss back out whenever we seal it up with our gloss varnish. Okay. So see, we just got kind of a plain black lens. We're just going to go ahead and turn that into a slightly redder plain black lens with some gloss. There we go. And I'll probably never look this closely at this again, but it might be fun. It'll be worth it. All right, so we're gonna set that aside to dry. Bring back over our Nuln Oil. So I don't know if you can see the difference in the shade there. So the back, the stock, has no Nuln Oil, and the front has quite a bit. We're going to reapply in a moment, but we're going to get this paint while it's wet. Paint our lenses up. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, but it has like the perfect little red glint, which is exactly what I'm going for. We might even do like a slight red wash before this is done over the lens, before we gloss coat, just to get, or maybe a dab of red just so it looks like a lens flare or a glint. We'll see. But wow, that looks great. Okay. All right, so let's let this. All right, we're going to go ahead and do some more Nuln Oil. Go ahead and move our palette to the side here. Just push it out of the way. I know we had it there for protection, but it'll be all right. Let's set this up on the side. All right. And I also forgot, what's good's a Scout Trooper without his little tiny I think it's an EC17. It's a little holdout blaster. See if it'll fit in his relaxed hand. Good enough. Let's see, there's our brush, and let's go back in for our null oil. And the good thing about a wash, you can always push it around, move it. If you're unhappy, you can always take it off. Just a touch of thinner. Don't be afraid to use washes. Especially on your Hasbro, your stock Hasbro figures, stock Hasbro figure. Their sculpts are great. They just don't put a lot of money into painting. So if you put just a little bit of your time and effort into a nice wash on a lot of the figures, it just makes them so much better. Brings out the detail, makes them look like they were actually where you want them to be, not just from a factory shiny. There we go. That's looking pretty good. A little more on this receiver. See how it just kind of flows wherever you want it to? You know what? We're going to go ahead and make sure we get... Just don't leave any air bubbles. Main thing. We're going to let this one dry now. We put quite a bit, so that might take a while to dry. Let's take a look at our lens. We definitely need some more on here. Oh, I just had a little bit of spillover onto the frame. So we're gonna have to. I think we can just scrape that off pretty easy though. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. You can see that glint on there. Oh no, I just punched the rifle. Okay. All right, so for our rookie, I'm actually going to try something new. I've never used pigments before, but essentially we want his boots to look pretty dirty. Just kind of gummed up. A little bit of dirt, debris, soot, whatever you want to call it. Let's see if the scouts, let's see if his blaster, it's not going to fit in this hand. Oh, yeah, it does, I guess. We're actually going to take our X-Acto. First we can cut between these fingers. If you cut between the fingers nice and gently. The stock Hasbro figures are, I guess you'd say, flexible enough to where if you want to cut the fingers so that you can hold different items or whatever, you can trust it. And let's see, I'm not happy with that yet. Do the third one too. See if we can get, there we go. Got his pinky on the bottom of the grip. These blasters are actually tiny. That doesn't look too bad. See how it looks in hand. And this is typically what I end up doing while I'm waiting for paint to dry. I'll sit here and play with whatever figure I've got on my desk. Only bummer about the Hasbro Snowtrooper body. Articulation is not the best. Figure is super old, so what can you expect? These elbows don't even, I guess they get exactly 90. But I'm hoping it's good enough for posing with the rifle. I'm pretty sure it will be. So I've got his neat little tiny gun. Get that finger back in there. And I handle my figures pretty rough when it comes to their hands and putting weapons in, so the fingers already have a little bit of paint rub, but you can't tell because it's got something in his hand. There we go. We can also take, let's see. I'm going to take this guy off of its stand really quick. Let's move our scout out of the way. Let's just scrape off that little imperfection. And look at that. You can't even tell it happened. Get your perfect little circle. This is ready for gloss. I don't want to do anything else with it. Punch it back on. Gloss. There it is. Oh, the paint wasn't dry. Well, okay. So you see, we were using varnish, which is clear, right? And now my brush is black and red. It hadn't dried all the way. Okay, before I mess anything up, we're just going to set that to the side. Or my brush was too wet. It might have reactivated the paint. That's what impatience gets you. And our blaster's still drying as well. See if I can find my weathering sponges and let's get to work on the rookie. Let's not waste any time. We can go ahead and stand our snow scout up. Look at that. Just missing his rifle and his binos. All right. Let me see. You know what? We're going to test our Be Right Back screen. Once I get it, right? Oh, okay, sorry. Now you get to watch me. There we go. Want to move to top? Nope. only I could figure out how it works. Mm-mm-mm. Oh. All right. I'm back. Unfortunately, I cannot find any sponges for the weathering, so we're not going to be able to do that tonight. But we can check on our rifle here. I think it is looking pretty stellar. Still a little wet, but that might be buildups, so let's see. Yeah. All I'm doing here is just taking some of the pooling that happened with a wet brush and just taking it off and either spreading it around or just wiping it off. It looks like we're going to have to wipe. Because honestly, it looks pretty good. We need a gloss. Let's see if this is wet. Nope. Looks good. Now we can pose our trooper with his binoculars at least. Look at that. Now, I don't think we can get them anywhere near him actually looking through them. Let's see. Ooh. Not without breaking something. But, still, cool accessory. I love the little world-building things you can do with Star Wars. Whether it's the little critters running around, little animals, or just random set pieces and things. Keeps it interesting and fun. Let's see. So since we can't do our weathering with, let's put these hands out of the way. Can't do our sponge weathering. We could try something a little different. But I don't know if I want to risk. Let's see. Let's do. Sounds like this is kind of just, this is the same thing as these, just in a different way. So, let's try it out. Let's grab a weathering brush. So this is definitely just a random, like, hey, we're just gonna try it. I've never used these before. So let's see how it goes. It's not a good omen. Okay. So we can take fake. That's really sandy. Uh-oh. I might have used too much on the first one. All right. Let's get our good old wet Q-tip. Let's knock this out. Let's just pull some of this off. I love the look. I love what it's going to do, but I used way too much. Oh, nope. We somehow got some red. I don't know where that's from. Okay. Just a little bit this time. I actually really like that it gathered in there. Because, you know, so ODST is set in New Mombasa, which is in Africa, and some of the fighting is in the desert. The Rookie is mostly in the city. Not really desert, more like Savannah, Sienna, I guess, would be the proper setting, but dusty, right? Sand is really dusty, gets everywhere. Chorus ref gets everywhere. Favorite line. So it would make sense for his boots to be pretty dusty, marked up. And I'm actually loving the way that looks as it goes on. Plus, this is probably my only member of Alpha 9 that I'll do. The ODST kits are just way too expensive for me to do the whole squad. I love ODST, but I just can't do the kits. Base bodies are cheap, but kits are just too expensive. Unfortunately, for the same amount that I could get another ODST kit for, I could get 2 or 3 Black Series kits, and I can't print the Halo kits. Look at that. So we can see, you know, it's just adding that dustiness that his armor's been worn through, the sand, dirt, debris. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And I might just do some light, just on the armor. Just light. You know, sand gets everywhere, dust. So what I'm trying to do here is just light strokes, just like glancing. That's a little heavy. Let's see. Ooh, let's wipe that off. Just got a little heavy on the back of the thigh. A little bit too much on the butt. That doesn't look too bad. Wow, this stuff sure is dusty. Not bad. I like that. Just dusty enough. All right, let's check on our rifle. I don't even know how to wash this off. Oh. Do a quick one. Okay, wipes right off with water. That's not too bad. Got to keep the desk clean. We're going to have to throw out this cardboard. Yuck. All right. Let's replace our paper towel. All right, and take a look at the rifle. I think this looks great. So now, another thing, never really painted wood before. Some MT34s had wood stocks. Some had just plain black. I'm actually leaning, I think we're just gonna do black. We're gonna do a black grip, black stock, and I think it'll still stand out enough, but not look out of place. I want to be careful. Let's see. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Oh, where am I at? Where am I at? Use our just standard brush. Get to work on this stock. All right, next to our grip. And like I said, the grip looks like the primer unfortunately got rubbed off. I think the MG34 had like a plastic grip case that went all the way around. Might even actually be this whole assembly. Now, will this black stay on this grip as I rip it in and out of his hand? Probably not, unfortunately. Maybe I can be really gentle and hope that it works. Yeah, it just looks just unique enough. It looks different, right? And that's what I was going for. Next, we're going to try to put just some white dusting. I'm hoping it'll look like I'm thinking that it will. Otherwise, it might just look worn, in which case, I guess that works, but that's not what I'm really going for. But we will see. This black dries pretty fast. Our lenses looking pretty good. You know what? We can go ahead and gloss the lens. Yeah, let's gloss them now. And when I gloss lenses or things that aren't just visors, I kind of try to glob it up. Not glob it up, might not be the right word, but just kind of put a little excess. Just try to build that finish. There we go. All right, and now we're done with this one again for a little bit. I'll let it dry. So we don't need all these different browns, fortunately. Yeah, I don't know. Last minute decision, decided not to do the wood. I think it might look a little out of place, and I'm kind of glad that I'm not doing it. Let's see. Also, I realized I pretty much did this stream without any actual test. So the VOD might be terrible, which I can't wait to see. And obviously I still don't have the standby issue fixed, but I rebalanced the audio, fixed my main microphone, so hopefully you all like it. Like I was saying too, I'm going to add soot. Oh, that's a lot. Just onto the end of the muzzle. Might not come through that well in the grand scheme of things, but just to make it look like, hey, this dude's been keeping some rebels' heads down. There we go. Now this shot, I'm going to try to get a little screen grab to post to Instagram, just to really show off this guy. You know what? No, this blaster, unacceptable. It is just black. Look at this. It's just black plastic. Not good enough. Let's do something. Let's do some dry brushing. I know our dry brush has this powder in it. Let's see if it's going to come out. Nope. So my favorite silver is this Necron compound. It's a Citadel claimed it's special for dry brushing. I don't know exactly how. Uh-oh. This is pretty dry. I don't know. This is pretty old. I've had this tube. If you can look, I don't know if it's going to show. I've had this thing for quite a while. Let's see. Ah, it works good enough for this tiny little blaster. Honestly, might have overdone it a little bit. But it's also tiny. See how that looks. Better. Let's see if we can get just a little bit of the silver on. Yeah, there we go. Uh-oh. Oh no. Fucking wires. Okay. There we go. And I am really happy with how this guy is looking. Get a nice actual, like an alive person stance going. Let's see. He looks a little goofy with such a tiny blaster, I think, but hey, it's accurate. Ah. Oh, well. I just snapped his hand off in the peg. That's so unfortunate. Oh, man. Okay. I think we've got him pulled out enough. Oh, come on. Remember yesterday, might have been the day before, I was talking about how much I don't really like 3D printed hands because they break. It's like I just broke my X-Acto. Falling apart. We're falling apart now. Okay. See if my other hand can go in here, because that piece just went all the way in. Okay. It happens. You get a figure done, you're so excited, and then you just mess up bad. I'm like a surgeon trying to dig this thing out, and I do not think I'm going to be able to. Oh my goodness. All right. So we got a couple options. So the peg is broken off inside, and then I, being a genius, just pushed it all the way down in there. It looks like it's coming out maybe. But it's to the point I can't grab it with tweezers. I've broken my X-Acto trying to get it out. Let's see. So what we could do is just trim down the rest of our hands. To where they'll fit and stay in. 'Cause yeah, you can't even. Let's see about a 3D printed hand. That's enough for the 3D printed hands to grab, so that's not too bad. If we just cut them down. And as you can see, it snapped off at literally the worst spot that it could, all the way up. Oh, no peg left. So, Let's see if I can get this out of the way. It also is resin, so if we grind it down enough, it'll cease to exist. I don't really want to do that. Nope. So there's a piece of X-Acto. Look at that. Oh, I can't even pick it up. If you can see that in the camera. All right. There it is. Okay. All right, let's see now. Oh, not bad. Okay. I can just do this. There we go. Well, okay, so we have our C grip hands for now. But what we can do, all right. Okay, let's put our mic back. Oops. All right, well, if you make customs, you're gonna have setbacks, especially when you're impatient like me. But, so we'll switch from the C grip, or the relaxed grip hand, to the C grip that comes with the figure. Let's just see what it looks like. And it looks pretty good. You know, we can almost get him to look. You know what? Well, look at that. We got him to look in the binoculars. Happy accidents. Not happy. I'm still mad about it, but that's pretty neat. You know, the only thing I wish the Snow Scouts still had was their little ankle holster, like in Return of the Jedi. That would be neat. So I'd have a place to store his stuff. But man, he's looking awesome. Whoa. Before we start our next custom, we're gonna have to replace our X-Acto blade. Make sure that we don't hurt ourselves. And his rifle, to me, looking complete. Let's see if we can pose him with it. I know I didn't seal it, but let's see if we don't have to. It's a little big for the hands, of course, because you don't really get accurate scale weapons with Hasbro. Decent pose. Decent posability. I do need to seal it because it looks like the buttstock rubbed off on his shoulder just a little bit. But it's good enough for maybe a picture. Let's see, yeah. See, we got a little bit of paint rub. So we're just gonna take our X-Acto. Since we have such a good seal in our figure, I think I can get this to just scratch off. Yeah, it's not too bad. There we go. So yeah, this will get a matte spray. Well, bend this hand out. There we go. Sweet. But here is our completed Snow Scout. So we got the semi-gloss, armor, matte spray undersuit. Really happy with how this one turned out. Then also, of course, have his rifle. Super happy with how that guy turned out. Let's see. Let's at least get one pose with the rifle. Maybe. Oh, we've got to show off those lenses. That looks wild. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus in. That nice glossy black and red finish. Nice. All right. Let's see if we can get this thing in his hand somehow. Awesome. All right. Well, I think we're going to try to stop it there. Actually, you know what? Let me see if I can figure this out. Let's go back. Let's go to Twitch. Oops. I don't know what I just did. But yeah, we're going to call it good there. Really happy with this guy. Sweet. All right. So it's Macefully. We'll be back soon. See you guys.